Wednesday afternoon, and that means it's time for Ask the Judge. You can submit your questions right now on our website. We're joined here by Judge Courtney Arkeen from the 128th District Court in Orange County. Good to see you, Judge.
Thank you. It's great to be back. Thanks for asking me.
This is your first time doing it via Zoom. We've got a couple of questions I want to get to this afternoon. The first is from someone who received a ticket in the mail. It says, "My son ran a red light. I thought they were going to stop taking those pictures with the red light cameras."
Yeah, so the answer to this one, Jordan, is yes and no. Back in 2019, they actually repealed the laws that allowed them to do the red light cameras. However, a part of that statute was that if the local municipalities or counties had a contract with the company that provided the cameras and provided maintenance for those cameras, then they could keep them in place until the contract expired. So it could go on for a number of years. Say it was a 10-year contract, it would go on until 2029. Also, though, it was interesting in that statute, if you go to get your tags for your car renewed or re-registered, they cannot prevent you from doing that if you have one of these unpaid red light tickets. So it's done away with, but if they still have the cameras, still have a contract, you could get one in the mail.
The grandfathered cameras that are still out there lurking in some jurisdictions. All right, here's a question from someone who says a local business owes them money. They've been reported to the Better Business Bureau several times. What recourse do they have, Judge?
Well, there's a lot of questions I would have about this one, which would lead to, how much are they owed? Because a lot of times litigation just is not financially feasible. Sometimes if it's a $50 bill, it's going to cost you more in filing fees to file a case. So say it were a significant amount that you thought was financially feasible, then you would file in a particular court, depending on that amount. You could sue for a money judgment. And then once the judge signs that judgment, then you can get the clerk to abstract it, is what it's called. File it in the deed records in case maybe that person owned any real property, and if they went to sell it, then you could collect at that point, and that is good for 10 years. I also was questioning whether or not maybe this was a theft of service, which could be a criminal case. So I would say you need to consult law enforcement and see whether or not there's a criminal violation here. If so, and they're put on probation, then a term of that probation could be paying you back. So you might actually get your money back.
All right, quickly to our final question. I live in an apartment. Some pipes burst during the ice storm. This person has significant damage. They've even moved in with a friend, their furniture damaged, and they said they're being told they cannot terminate the lease. The question is, are they still responsible for the remainder of the lease?
Typically, no. You need to look at your lease, look at the termination paragraphs. Usually it will say you have to give them written notice, maybe 5 days, maybe 10 days that you're going to terminate it. And the reason is, under Texas law, they have to provide you with a habitable place to live. And so if you can't live there, it's not habitable, and do not pay any more of that rent, but you have to terminate it first.
There you go. We'll have to leave it there. Good reminder for all of us as we recover from the winter storm. Judge, good to see you, and thank you so much for joining us. If you've got questions for Ask the Judge for our segment, just go to 12newsnow.com/askthejudge and fill out the form right there.